All right. This is Stoic, Calm, Emotional Leftist, Part 63.
On
And
transparency and merit. I
uh,
think we should. I think we're almost due for a show change of title at some point. But
well, we'll do different shows, but this is more of a shoot in the breeze kind of show that we that just put it out there, and basically we talk and kind of a
yeah,
strategize kind of thing. People get to hear
about-
the inside scoop. I might just put a lot of these shows on private just to start anew. Um,
I think rather than do that, we should do maybe a name change. Um, just a thought, but there's also that option. If you're new, if you're listening, I see people pouring in. At least four of you. Welcome.
welcome
I'm
to
Steve,
yeah, well, yeah. Welcome
and
to the
that's
limited four people that do listen, and I have to kind of work on myself, by the way, as well. I mean, I've been really tired and I've been good for nothing lately.
I
Uh,
wonder if Deppy is listening. Dep-
I'm wondering too, and I don't really schedule my shows. It's just I've been so tired lately and really fatigued, and and then I spend a lot of time my free time watching videos, countless videos, and I'll get into that later. Like just the
well,
amount of
there's that, and then you also I saw you munch down a butter-soaked steak. It was delicious, but meat slows me down. It just does. I can only take so much of it.
and everybody's different. What slows them down and what makes them work. But that steak was delicious. We have to admit that was a delicious. Did you finish it, by the way?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Yeah.
I ended up going to one of my favorite spots, the Asian barbecue place, Sam Woo's, and I got a what did I get? A well, I usually get their combo fried rice. This time I got the combo pan fried noodles. I think that was a mistake. I'm gonna go back to the fried rice next time.
Yeah. And I've kind of come to a conclusion about people that I don't like. I mean, there's a thought that I want to harm them and this and that, but really I just want them away from me. If you're negative, if you're aggressive, I just don't want you around, and I will avoid you. I hope you try to avoid me, and I've come to that kind of conclusion.
Have you ever had a moment where you've had one of those aha moments where they actually open their eyes to what you're saying, or is it always just confrontational? And are you constantly at war?
Uh, there are a few times that it happens um, where I where I basically am able to uh, get someone's where I'm able to really kind of relate to someone and just get them to kind of see my point of view. And I have to do it more than once because I don't. Sometimes I don't want to talk about facts or figures. I just bring out um, just normal things, and I'm looking it up right now where I let me see here. I just want to do. Let me see here. I'm looking here. Um, I think it's hard to find it, but to paraphrase, I said, this guy put out this tweet about 100 years, like 300, or 400 years of or 300 years of bondage, and then over 100 years of Jim Crow. And I just said, is that any reason to be a degenerate? And then he said something else, and I said, what good reason is there to be a degenerate criminal? And he finally kind of agreed with me on that, and because he was all into just victim, being the big victim and this and that. And in my opinion, regardless of your childhood, once you become an adult, you stop blaming your parents, let alone society, for your problems and for your actions. No one wants to be around someone who's toxic. And as I'm looking that up right now, I don't know what the hell happened to that. Gosh, I got to look at my profile now to see exactly where I might have said some of this stuff. And I don't know if I can find it. Anyway, but like if they don't get it, then I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna necessarily argue with them, because if they believe in their stuff and they're trapped in their ego, I'm not gonna argue with them, because it doesn't do any good, because I'm arguing against their ego. And probably the same is true for me. If my ego is attached to it, then probably logic and reason aren't going to resonate with me. And I think there's kind of a familiar strand with regards to the human ego that that makes a person not want to listen. Joey, did I resonate with you? Did I make any sense whatsoever, or am I just babbling in the wind?
Maybe you could paraphrase for the listening audience and me. I'm not sure.
Well, let me see if I can just. I'll say it again, maybe in a more. I don't know. Maybe in a more. God, my words lose me. My brain fog is there. But my main thing is, if the person's ego believes it, it becomes kind of like a religion to them. If they believe in a philosophy or an ideology, I'm kind of wasting my time, unless there's an audience there that I can convince. But if there's only just me and him, and particularly on social media, for the most part, it's only one person talking. I might say one thing, but after a while, I'll just move on. And the truth is, there's a lot of foolish people and ignorant people on social media, and it surprises me how much power that arrogant and ignorant people have. And it's unfortunate, because again, this place, the internet used to be a place, the information superhighway, and the cream rose to the top. And I don't know if I'm hearing someone knock on my door.
Okay, let's stick with this. All right. So you're I'm still kind of lost. Can you fill me in?
Well, what I gathered is a lot of people who are stuck in a certain belief, a lot of times it's not logical, it's emotional, and it's they believe in it because it fulfills their ego, it tickles their ego, and they're not all of a sudden going to have an awakening. However, I have had a few people have an awakening and just like kind of realize that what they believe is stupid.
I'm just going to stop you there and say, you mentioned at the very beginning of what you're just saying, you say a very key word. I'm just wondering if you know what that is. You mentioned that these people believe, right?
Correct. Sorry, I was just checking my door. I thought I heard someone knocking on it, so I
Okay.
left
You
for a few
said,
seconds.
but you said people believe, right?
You know what? I don't know if they believe or if uh, they're so caught up in their ego that the ego protects itself. So it's hard to say, but I think people believe that they're oftentimes they'll even lie, but they'll convince themselves that they're doing the right thing because their ego tells them to.
Right. And I think we're a little beyond ego and belief. I think we're at a stage where you either know or you don't know, period. And there's a big difference. If they're coming from a place of knowledge, that usually resonates much harder than if somebody's, uh, just sort of explaining their beliefs, or if, as you're suggesting, if they're just an ego-driven maniac, that's always kind of easy to decipher too. If they're just kind of regurgitating uh, everything they learned under their plaques and whatnot. So um, definitely, it shows, and it's a big difference from reality or from expressing knowledge, which always resonates when somebody's hitting a mark based on an insight, a non-reducible, fundamentally sound truth. That always resonates much harder than somebody just expounding on their ridiculous ego. I don't know if that's kind of answering what you're.
Yeah, I mean, to a point. I also believe that if you don't like, to me, the most effective way to resist certain people is not to spend your money with them. Uh, Logic, reason, and sometimes a lot of times won't resonate. But if you say, "Hey, if you're going to continue to behave this way, I'm and others will not spend our money," then they're more likely to listen to you. But I think it's sometimes ego is more powerful than profit until they get the balance sheet and then they realize what they've done. The same thing with when people say I'll starve first. I'll say go a few days without eating and then come back to me and tell me that you'll do that because I don't believe you until you show it to me. I don't know if that resonated with you at all, Joey, but it resonated with me.
Well, that's all that matters. So let's let's just move on, because I think you're getting caught up in some just ridiculous. It sounds to me like you're in a constant Twitter conversation.
You know what? Sometimes I am. Joey, do you think people are more motivated by money or ego?
People are usually motivated by fear and greed, in my view. Those are maybe the two biggest motivators.
I think that um, the more comfortable your life is, the more you're motivated by ego than you're motivated by fear and greed. I mean, fear and greed might be part of it, but um, I think like the poor people coming over, they're motivated through survival, and the less survival you have to do, the more you're motivated by fake altruism.
Well, just even coming over, if they're coming over for material gain, that's usually when your first step is in the wrong direction, the result many times will come out equally messed up. So I think, and it's all relative. It's really kind of sad to see, but here's the deal, Brian. We're right now in a global debt situation. It's worse than a bubble. This is a global debt disaster, and everyone is going to feel the pinch from those little beaches in Thailand, where our friend Howard, usually likes to bloviate on how cheap it is to get a sirloin steak, to New York and here in LA. There's the pinch is coming. It's going to come even harder, and I think the stock market's just getting incredibly. Now that is a massive bubble. It's being artificially inflated higher and higher. The stock market actually hit a new record high today, and if you watch the reporters, the news people, they look like they're all about to ejaculate on themselves. They're so excited. And the problem is that this actually has absolutely zero reflection of the economy. The economy is in a state of hyper shit, and the debt, which isn't just an American phenomenon. This is worldwide. So they can run, but they can't hide. They might be coming here for material gain, but I say everything's relative. And unless they're just strictly coming for, all of the shiny stuff, whatever. Just more misguided foolery, I think.
Well, I was just thinking the people
Yes.
that are coming here for material good, I don't like what they're doing, but I feel they're more honest than the so-called do-gooders, the social justice warriors, because they're far more fake and fraudulent than the people who are coming here to gain a better life. They're doing, to a degree, what's in their nature. And these people, I mean, I see the people like in BLM and the other social justice warriors more as performative buffoons. And we as a society have really humored them. And we humored them in a time of a pandemic when we were all supposed to stay inside, and these jackasses were allowed to march in the street and blow their wind and probably blow their farts all over the place. And we weren't allowed to do the same. And it was it bothers me, but what can you do? Well, you can't. I mean, like, if people will listen to me, or at least one of my ideas again is to boycott certain nonprofits and do so strategically, and because economics is the game. All wars are economic, including culture wars. Joey, do you have anything to add before I end this puppy?
No, I think we're good to go. If you're listening, thank you for listening, and make sure that you like, maybe even subscribe if you want.
Yeah, and I want to say Joey and I are trying to build an art world of humanity and basically a free thought and free people. And there are a lot of people that don't want that don't like a free society, and they can go their way and we can go ours, and we can have a peaceful separation. Because you don't want to hear my ideas, and then again, if you don't want to hear my ideas, I don't want to hear yours, and I certainly don't want to go to a store or shop at a place where my ideas aren't welcome. If I have to, I have to, but I have my preferences. Hey, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Again, this is Transparency and Merit, which is also a Twitter handle, and we have Twitter handles Mr. Midnight Movie and Walk Against the Woke, which is Walk Woke. Hopefully you will listen and you'll gain something by it. And hopefully we boycott. I would like to see certain groups strategically boycotted, and basically a sense of reciprocity. Hopefully in 2025 will be a year of reciprocity. There's been a lot of unfairness out there, and I'll end on this. Hypocrisy is abuse, and hypocrites are abusers. Joey, do you have anything to add before I end this wonderful stream?
I am fully accounted for from fertilization until my final breath, and that is all I got to say.
Joey, I'll end on this. My history begins at my fertilization and will end with my death. Anything before or after that is completely beyond my control. I'll leave one more last word to you, Joey.
That's a good point. Let's carry on and spread that. And I think if everybody woke up tomorrow and said the same thing you just said, the entire system would change overnight. I'm not even joking. All right, we're done.